Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Papa Lim Physics Classroom. Okay, today we'll be looking at the practical aspect of this physics paper. Okay, today topic will be on electrical circuit. What are the common errors or common pitfalls that we will encounter when we are setting up the circuit, and some of the good habits that I have actually discovered when I'm setting up a circuit. So I will share that with you. So hopefully that this will actually build up your confidence in setting up your circuit when you're having your O-level exam or even normal practical experiment sessions. Okay, so now let's look at the common operators that we always use in our class. Okay, the most commonly seen apparatus in the electrical circuit is your battery. Okay, in front of me now you have two electrical cell in the battery holder. Okay, this will be the positive terminal, this will be the negative terminal. How do we clip? Remember, there are two ways to clip to connect your battery cell. Either you clip it to the top, or you can actually unscrew this terminal here all the way. Okay, unscrew all the way. Okay, then after that you clip it at the bottom here. Now, personally, right, I would actually prefer the first method of connection, whereby just clip it at the top. Okay, just clip it at the top, and it's actually tightly connected already. I will not advise you to unscrew the connector, then after that clip it at the bottom, because sometimes we tend to unscrew it maybe not high enough, and it may tend to clip the plastic portion of the battery holder. So just be careful. The other apparatus that you see quite commonly is the use of switch in our circuit. Now, switch, as far as my side is concerned, okay, the school side is concerned, we actually have two types of switch. One is what we call the plug key switch. Okay, the other one is what we call a two-way switch. Now, plug key switch I think is quite straightforward. Okay, if you need to connect the switch, one wire will go here, then the other wire will go to the other side. Okay. If you have a circuit in this way, it means that the circuit is closed. If you want to open the circuit, just remove the plug key and the switch is open. The other switch that you're looking at is this two-way switch. For two-way switch, right, either two-way switch as in I can close it this way to close the circuit, or I can actually swing it this way to close the circuit. Now, for two-way switch, the connection is a bit more complicated, so just take note. Okay. Now, there are three connection points. Okay, there are three connecting points, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for two-way switch, remember, one wire must go to the middle section. Okay, one wire must go to the middle section. Okay, so let's say now I have the one wire here. Okay, one wire is at the back. Okay, one wire is connected here. Now, then the other one, let's say if I want to close the switch by swinging it to the left. Okay, so what I do is I will have the other wire clipping to the left terminal here. So I will close it. Okay, and the current will actually flow from the input here all the way across to the other terminal, and it will go to the other part of the circuit. On the other hand, if I need to swing it to the right to close it, so if I want to swing it to the right to close the circuit, I must make sure the wire is connected to the right terminal here. Okay, so if I connect the right terminal, I will actually close it, and the circuit will be closed, and the current will flow from the red wire all the way across and to the black wire here. For this type of switch, it is important, okay, to always remember to clip the middle one. Middle one is the midpoint of everything. Okay, so do not clip it this way. Do not clip it this way. This is one of the most common error that we have. Do not clip it this way. If you clip it this way, okay, these two terminals are not connected. Okay, there is a gap in between here. So the current, this will not be a closed circuit, and current cannot flow from the left terminal to the right terminal here. So for two-way switch, remember, okay, you must have one of the wire connected to the middle terminal here. Okay, must connect it to the middle terminal here. Okay, so if I connect to the left, I will close by swinging it to the left. If I connect it to the right, okay, I will swing it to the right to close the circuit. Now, for the other operators, ammeter, okay, is one of the most commonly seen operators being used in the lab or in exam. Now, in my school, there are two versions of the ammeter. Okay, they look the same. They have the A in the middle, so that's how we know it's an ammeter. Now the two versions, what's the difference is if you look closely, okay, the marking is actually a bit different. This marking here, this ammeter marking is quite straightforward. You will see that this is actually marked as 0.8, 0.6, okay, 0.4. So you know it's 0.6, where the maximum reading is 1. On the other hand, I have another ammeter. Okay, the grading is slightly different here. Take a look. Okay, if you zoom in, okay, you'll find that this ammeter marking is also marked the same way as in 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. But take note of this: the zero is the zero is not good. Is not engraved on the reading here. Okay, what you see instead of the zero, you actually have the point here, the decimal place. So do you see a decimal place here? You see a 0.8 or 0.6 here. Take a look, there's a decimal place here. So just be careful. So if you happen to get this ammeter, okay, remember to take note of the point there. Okay, so this reading here, if my needle is here at this junction here, it actually reads 0.8. Okay, not 8 m. Okay, so it's read as 0.8. So for ammeter, there are two versions in my school. Okay, so for your side, okay, you may want to take notes. Okay, just pay attention to the marking on the ammeter to check how does it appear. The other apparatus that you see most commonly is your voltmeter. Okay, voltmeter, how do you know it's a voltmeter? It's actually symbolized by the letter V here. So this is how I know this is a voltmeter. So same as ammeter, there are two terminals. Okay, that's where you connect, and that's how he detects the potential difference across a component or a battery cells. Now, when I'm given a electrical circuit, how will I set up? Okay, now for me, I will first take a look at the circuit that I have on my paper on the board. Then what I will do is I will actually locate the apparatus, place the apparatus at the same location as what is written on the paper. So for example, this is my circuit. So what I do is I will actually arrange the apparatus like what I seen it on the paper. So for example, on the paper, I'll have my battery cell on top, switch is to the right. At the same time, I will also have my ammeter on the left. Okay, so I place my ammeter here. After that, my variable resistor is here, and directly below the variable resistor, I will have my voltmeter. So before I start setting up the circuit itself, before I start connecting all the wires, I will make sure my apparatus are placed exactly as what is given in the question here. Now, the other point to take note is that while you are setting up the circuit, it's important to actually gather all the wires together. Okay, gather all the wires put at one side so that it will not cluster up your whole circuit to make it like more complicated than it is. Okay. Once you are ready, you can start connecting the circuit. Just join the wire, okay, as what is listed in the question itself. So example, I connected here. So later I'm going to connect another wire at the voltmeter and directly to the variable resistor, just like what the question actually suggested here. Alright, so after you connected the wire, okay, just like what is stated in the question, okay, just go through one more time, make sure the wires are connected what is stated in the question. Now at this point, remember, do not close the switch yet. Okay, check the circuit. And the other one you might want to take note is the wires. Okay, the loose wires or the spare wires, okay, you may want to gather them at one side so that they will not be all over the place and maybe affect your readings or maybe affect how you analyze the circuit. Now once it's ready, you can actually close the circuit here. Now remember, for the switch, remember like what I mentioned, one wire is connected to the center and one terminal now I connect to the left, means I'm actually swinging the switch to the left, okay, for a closed circuit. So once I close it, okay, one thing to take note is that for ammeter and voltmeters, if it's connected correctly, you'll find that the moment you close the switch, you'll find that the ammeter will swing to the right, like what you see in this picture here. Okay, so if I open the circuit now, the current will drop. If I close it, the ammeter will swing right side to the marking here. So this will mean that the circuit is complete and the ammeter is connected correctly. But on the other hand, take a look, okay, for the voltmeter. Okay, I will use the voltmeter as an example, but this error happens to voltmeter and ammeter. For example, now if I open the switch, okay, you'll find that all my circuit is actually disconnected, and you'll find that my voltmeter registered 0 reading now. Now what happens is you take a look at the 0 marking, the pointer, you'll find that when I close the circuit now, okay, the pointer, instead of swinging to the right, it actually swing to the left. Take a look again. I open the circuit, then now I close. Okay, swing to the left. Okay, this doesn't mean that the circuit is wrong. This just means that the terminal here, the terminal here, that you actually have connected in the wrong direction. So what you're going to do is just to solve this problem, you just need to swap these two terminals, and the reading will, the voltmeter will register the correct reading. So now let's take a look. Okay, so now I swap the terminal. So now I swap the terminal. Okay. Then you'll find that, see, my voltmeter will swing in the correct direction. It's a very common error here. Okay, so let's take a look again. So if I open the circuit, the voltmeter will register 0. But if I close it now, instead of swinging to the left, he will actually swing it to the right. Okay, remember just now you encountered the error is because the terminals are connected at the wrong terminals. So solution for it is actually just to swap these two terminals, and your problem will be solved, and your circuit will actually read normally. Now let me repeat the same error again. So now let's look at my ammeter. Okay, now I connected my ammeter according to the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually close the circuit. Now take a look at the pointer closely. So when I close the circuit now, okay, the pointer swing to the left. Okay, same as before, for voltmeter and ammeter, you will have this error. So the moment you see this, what you do is you open your circuit. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to swap these two terminals. Okay, swap the Corolla clip. Okay, swap the terminal. Okay, and this problem will be solved. For example, this is what I do now. Okay, I'll take out the Corolla clip. I'll clip it to this side. Okay, I just reverse the connection. Okay, so what I do now is I will actually close the circuit now. You look at the pointer, see where it swing. Okay, see? So now it swing correctly already. Okay, so this is how you troubleshoot ammeter problem. Okay, now for electrical circuit, okay, it can be any circuit, but the most common error that I encounter is actually this voltmeter ammeter connection, whereby the meter swing reverse. The other error that I keep encountering sometimes you may have is actually the loose connection. For example, maybe sometimes when you look at the connection, the wire connection, it could be a loose connection. Make sure you check the connection. Make sure the connection is tight, okay, at all the joints here. Okay, so just take a look. Okay, so now with this, okay, you will be able to set up the basic circuit. Okay, so I hope this video actually help you in build more confidence in setting up the electrical circuit. Alright, with this, we have come to the end of these sessions. I hope the common problems that I share with you and some of the good habits that we have shared here are useful for you, and eventually will help you to build up confidence in setting up the electrical circuit. Now, in the meantime, if you have any good habits or any common error that I have not encountered, okay, please please let me know. Okay, leave it at the comment bar below so that I can share with my students across the next few sessions before their exam. Okay, and if you have good resources or good ideas, okay, just leave a comment below so that we can bounce idea back and forth. Okay, if not, okay, remember to subscribe to my video, and okay, see you next time. Bye bye.